Hello, hello. Today I'm going to be showing you a tutorial on how to use the Veronoi function in Grasshopper. Now this tutorial is going off the assumption that you have some basic Grasshopper knowledge, but I'll try to take it pretty slow anyways. So without any further ado, let's get started. So let's start by grabbing our Veronoi component. Automatically starts out orange because there are no basic inputs. We look here, we see we need some points, optional cell radius, an optional containment boundary, and a base plane. There it is, the optional base plane. We're just going to worry about the points and the boundary. So if we want to make some basic collection of points in a boundary, I think we should start with a rectangle. So I'm going to double click here and type up a rectangle for us. You can see in Rhino, gives us that base plane. And I'm just going to type the number 5 here to get me a number slider between 1 and 10. And I'm just going to hook this up to the X and the Y for the rectangle, which gives us a 5x5 rectangle. You can see it's right over here now. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this rectangle and we're going to fill it full of points. We're going to do that by typing populate. Either populate 2D or populate geometry seems to work just fine. We're going to do populate 2D here. So yeah, it just kind of picked any darn region that it wanted. We're going to give it the rectangle as the region for it. As you can see there, all the points are now contained within the rectangle. So that's the region that we use. That's the number of points, and that's really all that we need to worry about. We don't need to worry about the seed or the points, any pre-existing points. So I'm just going to type 50 here to give me a number slider between 1 and 50. And put that into the number of points just to give us some control over that. Alright, so now we have a number of points. Let's see what happens when we put it into the points for the Veronoi diagram. Alright, so as you can see over here, gives us some cool little cells around the points here, but the boundary for it is way out here, and that just looks weird and a little too funky for our purposes. So we're going to take the rectangle out of here and also make it the boundary, the containment boundary. And it wants a rectangle for that anyways, so that kind of works out great. And just like that, it's all self-contained. Now something really cool you can do with the Veronoi diagram here is you can then take the cells and make them into something a little more complicated. For example, if we take those points there and we say, hey, you know what, let's make some circles around those points. Well, let's just do exactly that. We'll take and make a circle, and we'll give it a radius. It needs a point here, or a plane rather, and a radius. We're going to have the point work for the plane here, so first of all, I'm just going to type up 5, give us another number slider here, and you can see the circles just kind of expanding there. And I'll give it these points, and holy moly, that is huge. So actually, I'm going to give it I'm just going to take in the default 0 to 1 number slider and use that for the circles, and that gives us something a lot easier to work with. Now if we want a surface that'll work for us in a way that makes sense, let's say we want these circles to cut out in the middle of the cells here. So let's make the circles a little bit smaller. And so what we're going to do, Grasshopper kind of wants to, if you want to make a surface like that, it kind of has to alternate things from one to another, and basically the perfect function for that is going to be weave. It's going to be real cut and dry here. We'll take the Veronoi cells here, plug it into 0, and the resulting circles, plug it into 1. So now we've got all that kind of in one component, and we're just going to take the surface command here, the boundary surface, and it'll use the alternating cells and the circles, and it'll give us something that looks like this. If you zoom in here, you can see that indeed circles are being cut out. So if we want to extrude that later and bake it and everything, you just click here and bake. You can extrude that to make it three-dimensional if we want. Take that, do a quick Z vector, and kapow. You can see it popping up right there, and like that. It's like cheese. And if you want to make it look a little prettier, I've already gone ahead and made a preview of it over here. You take out all the extra unnecessary circles and rectangles around it, and you get something pretty cool. So you can use that for some like sunscreen or something, or maybe a ceiling feature. It has a lot of really cool uses. So yeah, check out this Veronoi function and see what it can do for you.